El Chapo wife is the most solid woman I ever in my life ran into, man. That's why I post on my page. I ain't with none of that mean Lloyd's 1000 respected for life.
Before Emma Coronel Ispero would witness her husband El Chapo be sentenced to life plus 30 years, and this time, well, it wouldn't be a prison that he'd have any chance of escaping from.
The wife of the world's most notorious drug lord walked out of Brooklyn federal court in silence, surrounded by a crush of cameras.
Before Emma would become El Chapo's fourth wife and would meet her husband at the tender age of 17 while he was 49.
¿Ustedes por qué deciden tenerlas a ellas en California?
Como yo nací allá, se supuso que era buena idea que también fueran ciudadanas americanas.
Before El Chapo's wifey would clock in over 500,000 followers on Instagram, get a shout out from Young Thug, and appear on VH1 show Cartel Crew. Look who it is, I'm back on the channel. Now nicknamed a Narco Barbie, well Emma, she attempted to promote herself as a small town girl, the simple daughter of a bean farmer turned devoted wife and mother. But court documents and her family tree, well, they tell an entirely different story. She was born into a world of crime, and her arranged marriage to El Chapo at the age of 18, well, it's part of a mafia tradition. Now, have been married since 2007, well, her husband, he has been on the run or in and out of prison for the better part of the last decade. Now, despite this, well, she's remained loyal to the powerful drug lord, which takes a certain type of woman to do. Well, it's believed she's also being linked to his now infamous escape that went down in 2016. Y'all remember this. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden back at it again with a brand new Before They Were Famous video. Now, way back in the day, we made a video on El Chapo, which could likely use an update. Be sure to let us know who to feature next in the comments down below. Alright, now let's get into this video. Emma Coronel Ispero was born on July 3rd, 1989 in Santa Clara, California. The daughter of an American mother and Mexican father, Ines Coronel Barreras, who at the time, well, he was a medium-ranking lieutenant in the Sinaloa cartel working under El Chapo. Now, he rose up the ranks to become one of his right-hand men with the nickname the Crystal King, and that was for his role in ensuring the widespread sale of crystal meth across the United States and Europe. Now, Emma, she was schooled in the code of conduct for criminal activity from a young age. Now, she was also witness to the consequences of living life on the other side of the law. Her father and her older brother, they were both arrested and jailed in 2013, and then Emma's younger brother, Edgar, he was arrested for helping El Chapo escape from a shower prison via a tunnel in 2015. And this is a crime for which now she is being attached to. Due to the secrecy and criminal activities of her family, well, very little is known about her formative years. What we do know is that at the age of 17, well, she met El Chapo at a dance where he decided right then and there that he would marry her. I guess he had to check with his buddy first, I don't know. Now, speaking with the LA Times about how they first met, well, she stated, "He was dancing with another girl, I was dancing with my boyfriend. At the time, I had a boyfriend and we crossed paths right in the center of the dance floor. He flirtatiously smiled at me. After a while, a person told me, the man asked if you want to dance with him. And I said, okay, because in the ranchos, even though you have a boyfriend, you can dance with every person who asks you to dance. So I said, of course." A few months later, she entered a beauty pageant titled 2007 Coffee and Guava Festival held in her village of Canales, Durango, Mexico. Now, although she was initially considered a long shot to win, well, she did in fact take the crown. Now, in the run-up to the pageant, well, it was reported that El Chapo, he bribed the judges to ensure that she would win, and he did so for a very good reason. Now, it's a mafia tradition which dictates that mob bosses would marry beauty queens. And it dates back to 1958 when Sam Giancana married the then Miss Sinaloa. Now, for El Chapo, well, Emma, she was the prize that he wanted all for himself. As she celebrated her win, well, El Chapo, who was surrounded by hundreds of henchmen with guns drawn in the air, well, he announced to the world that he would marry her. Now, this would be his fourth marriage that the public knows about. And it wasn't a fairy tale wedding, but what many have called an arranged marriage, on which she had little choice but to accept. Now, after tying the knot, well, the newlyweds, they made an early exit, and police who had caught wind of the wedding, well, they arrived too late to catch them at the event. In the summer of 2011, Emma traveled to Lancaster, California to give birth to twins at the Antelope Valley Hospital. Now, Guzman's name, it was left off the children's birth certificates because the US Department of State, they were offering a bounty of $5 million for his capture. Plus, the guy's got as many as 19 children, so I'm sure he didn't truly mind. For most of their marriage, well, El Chapo, he's been on the run, and the couple, well, they were never able to carry on a traditional family life. Now, for a few years, well, Emma, she focused on caring for her daughters and pursuing a journalism degree. That was at Culiacán. Then following his final arrest in 2016, well, Emma, she started to give interviews to the press, presumably out of concern that her husband, well, he was being mistreated by Mexican authorities. In a 2016 Telemundo interview, well, Emma argued that the life of her husband was in danger and she begged for justice on his behalf.
Cuando usted dice no lo dejan dormir, es que lo están levantando constantemente.
Efectivamente, le están pasando lista constantemente. Mientras se llega el pase de lista, los custodios que se encuentran afuera están platicando, haciendo escándalo.
Now, Emma, she kept a low profile in the early years of the marriage, but after El Chapo's arrest in 2016, well, she gave a fiercely defensive interview to the LA Times. She refuted claims that he drugged and forced himself onto women and girls. She stated, he would be incapable of touching a woman with bad intentions or trying to make her do something she didn't want to do. She was also very public on social media, posting to Twitter and Instagram some bikini selfies, also pictures of her glamorous lifestyle. Now, when she threw a Barbie-inspired birthday party for her twins, well, she was blasted by the public for living so lavishly. She also began to parlay her notoriety, appearing on VH1's reality TV show Cartel Crew, and she was working on a clothing line named after her husband. Now, her life to be picture perfect, but she wasn't totally off of the authorities' radar. Now, during the trial proceedings where El Chapo was given life plus 30 years, well, a former cartel lieutenant, he testified that Emma, she had played a key role in his second prison escape via the underground tunnel. This lieutenant stated that she had sent text and attended meetings where El Chapo's underlings were coordinating the breakout. It now appears that with her man locked up behind bars, well, someone needed to keep the business afloat. Then on a recent trip to Dulles International Airport on February 22nd, 2021, well, she was arrested for conspiracy to unlawfully import and distribute illegal drugs. Now, maybe she'll end up joining her husband in prison, and the two can actually have some downtime together, albeit from behind prison walls. Maybe they'll get a conjugal visit. I don't know. As for the rest of the story, well, I think we're gonna wrap this one up here because this, of course, is before they're famous. All right, guys, now we've had Marlon hosting this show, giving me a little bit of a break. I've been doing this for what, like 10 years? So we've got a big team now, tons of new faces, tons of new channels, a lot happening. So if you're in the comments being like, oh, Michael's back, well, I appreciate the love, but I also need the break. Plus, there's a lot of other stuff I gotta do running this business. But you guys will see me, of course, each week I'll pop up here and there. I'll see you guys in another video.